Hi, welcome to our channel. I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Hugo.
We're sell quick, ship quick, part-time resellers,
full-time hustlers.
And today we wanted to show you our process in creating variable listings for eBay.
Yeah. Before we get going though, if you haven't already and you're interested,
hit the subscribe button.
And give us a like if you like this content or things like this. We have multiple videos similar. Variable listings, or at least the way we use them.
For eBay.
Yeah.
The Bay.
The Bay. eBay is Bay. So traditionally, I mean, what's the most common way we've used variable listings with clothing?
For sizing. So if you pick up 3 of the same item, but one is a small, one is a medium, one is a large, you can create a variable listing so that you have one listing, one charged listing, and you have 3 in the quantity, but it's a variable because it's 3 different sizes. Yeah. So there's multi-quantity and then a variation.
Yeah, so multi-quantity, we have 3 shirts that are large, easy. Large shirt, 3 quantities. Variable would be like you said, and then the buyer was actually able to come into your listing and choose what size they're looking for. Mm-hmm. And then select it, purchase it, and within those sizes they could even be different prices. So that's the most common way we've used it. But another way we've been using it is to save listings with slow moving items that are similar. Easiest thing to show is, I'll show you guys right here, is our DVDs.
So if you've heard us talk about our DVDs before, which we've talked about in past videos, we like to collect movies for ourselves, but we like to watch the Blu-ray version of these movies. And what we'll do is we'll go pick up our movies from, I don't know, Target,
and normally we still have to find them on sale.
Yes, so we'll pick up our movies on sale, and we always pick the ones that have the dual discs. So the one that has a Blu-ray disc and a regular DVD. We'll keep our Blu-ray, and then we'll sell the DVD. So technically our Blu-ray only ends up costing us like $3
Yeah,
sometimes.
It depends on the price that we pay, yeah. And well, as you can see here, I'm gonna let this thing keep looping. But the main thing here is we have one listing that has, I can't remember, but it's over 40 DVDs that we have up. And if we didn't have this variable listing, that means we'd have 40 listings for individual DVDs that are slow moving. These DVDs are popular titles, so they're not that common to be bought, you know, because most people already have them and whatnot. But we randomly do sell these titles.
And if you've seen our DVD collection, we've sold a lot.
Oh yeah. But you guys can see on the little video that's been going on here, it shows in the main picture a bunch of DVDs, and then on the side you can select what DVD. On that drop menu we have the titles, so you can search through there for which title you're looking for. They're all about the same price. I think they are the same price because they're all just the DVD discs. And then the buyer can search through it. When they click on it, as you've been seeing, the image of the right DVD will show up. A couple things with that is if that DVD is no longer available, it might show the name, but it'll be grayed out so the buyer can't even select it. So that's one thing. Second, when you're purchasing or when you're setting it up, you can't really change the shipping. So you have to choose one shipping cost for all your items, which is why we're talking about the same items. You know, DVDs all cost the same. So we do free shipping, and on all those items, they're gonna be the same price. So it's a lot easier to list. Mm-hmm. So with that in mind, we're gonna create a new variable listing with items we actually showed in one of our hauls recently, which are these ornaments, birds for Christmas. I forgot exactly how many we have, but you'll see in the upcoming screens how we set them up so that we can make a variable listing and sell them individually without using multiple listings. Let's go check that out. Okay, so we're going to create this variable listing.
And like we talked about it earlier this week or a couple weeks ago, we picked up these collectible bird ornaments. So these are the Danbury Mint Songbird Christmas ornaments. So I could sell these all at once in one bundle, and if it was complete, it'd be worth a good flip. But because it is missing some pieces, it's still worth selling them separately. So the only concern we have is oftentimes, at least in our case, ornaments don't move that fast. They're kind of long tail items for us. So instead of listing these, I believe 6 different bird ornaments individually to sit there, we're going to create one listing that carries all 6, but allows the buyer to select from a drop-down menu so they can individually select which birds they actually want to purchase. So as you guys can see here, this listing looks like any other listing. All the basic fields are there, but we're going to start up here first. So off the back, what we want to do is adjust the title. This one's already adjusted. So we have the Danbury Mint Songbird Christmas Ornaments. So in, not bold, but in capital letters, we have sold separately. We want to make sure that the buyer understands that they're not purchasing the whole lot that they see in the picture. They're only going to be purchasing them one bird at a time. Then we're going down here, and we have the custom label. You put whatever you normally put for your own custom SKUs. In our case here, we have A47 because the item will be located A47. Makes my job shipping a lot easier. Then heading down here, see category. So just note too, certain categories, eBay categories, will not allow you to create variations. So if you come up on a listing and you can't do it, it might be your category. In this case, if this was under collectibles, we wouldn't be able to create a variation. So we went through and put it under home and holiday and ornaments. And then here we can create the variation. Now in our store, come in here and let's just put this in for holiday. Put that there. We have the create variation. We'll be right back to it. UPC it's not applicable. Condition used, and then condition description. We like to remind them and put it down in our listing. These ornaments are in use condition and may show signs of normal wear. We always make sure to look over our items, but sometimes little flaws might pass us or things that we don't realize are flaws appear. But we like to let the buyer know it might have some flaws that even we miss. Then we have here, looks like the normal drop section for the photos, and then we go down to specifics. But before we keep going down, it's the first step, which is going to be dropping in our picture. So up in this corner I have our pictures labeled as well as with the pricing on it, so that makes listing easier for me, and you guys will see what I mean. First things first, we got our main picture coming in, drop it in, and there you go. So again, even in our main picture, you can use Canva, Open, or any other photo app to create this, but we put a little letter box here that said sold separately. Again, we don't want the buyer to think you're going to buy all of them for that price. So by making it clear multiple times, if a buyer comes upset, you can let eBay know you did your best to let them know that this item was sold separately. So we got those in. Now let's get to the actual variation. So we're going to go to create variation. Then it has some preset variation styles, NPN. Well, we're going to click out of those because we're going to put our own. Come in here, and it gives you some preset ones, but you can create your own. Come down here, we're going to put select bird, since these are bird ornaments, and you can always put whatever you want in that section as long as it's relevant and it's clear to the buyer what they're going to be selecting from that drop down menu. Save. Alright, so now under options, this is where we're going to list all the different birds that we have for this collection. In this case, birds. If you have, depends on your variable listing, you'd be putting down your different items here. So we'll go through here. We're going to start from the list above that we have right here, all labeled for us. Okay, so now we have all our birds in here listed in. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Matches up to the pictures. You'll see it right here. So this is where you can see that they're active. We're going to move on now and go to continue. And here we go. So we're still in the variation menu of it all. It brings up our front picture that we put up. And notice it wants to put that as a picture for all our options here. But we have pictures for each one of these birds, so we're going to replace those. We're going to start off by coming up here. Instead of saying use default, we're going to select birds. Now, each bird is going to have the option to put its own picture. And in these pictures, you'll be able to adjust brightness settings, rotate, crop, all the usual settings that you can do during a listing. And you have up to 12 per item without having extra charges. So essentially, you can fill up 12 for each of these and not have to worry about going over your photos. Okay, so we're going to go in order. First things up, we got the chickadee photos. We're going to drop those in. Highlight that, bring it down here, and drop them in. Let them load up. And just like I said earlier, you can rotate, manipulate any of these photos if for whatever reason they came out bad for you. You can adjust brightness. Make this a little bit brighter. Just make sure to press save so it keeps all that stuff. There you go. And again, just like any other listing, you can maneuver and manipulate the pictures. But to keep going, we're just going to drop down the rest of these pictures here. Alright, so as you can see, all these have their pictures according to the name of the bird or the name of the ornament in this case. We're going to come down here and now the next section. Now you can see each bird has the right picture along with it. Next thing you can do here is you can do individual SKUs for these birds. So if you wanted to actually come in here and label each bird, or say you had them in different bins, you can also come in here and put those SKU numbers here. Just keep in mind this SKU number cannot repeat within this variation because each SKU needs to be individual in this variation. It will throw up an error and make you change it. Then UPC, we don't have one, so not applicable on all of these. Then again, you guys can see the bird titles are in here. Quantities 1. If there was more than one, we'd be able to come in here and change it. Say we had more than one mountain bluebird, we can come in here, highlight it. Oh, there you go. Change it to 2. But we only have one and we don't want to mess that up. Then we come down here to prices. So to make it easier, you want to look up the prices ahead of time. So you have the prices for all the pieces, whatever variation you got here. I put them here on the picture so that while I also have the title of each bird, I also have the price for each bird. And they're thankfully in order, makes it a lot easier for me. So I'm just going to double click here. Chickadee, $12.99. So as you can see, they all have their prices and they don't have to be the same price. That's the beauty of it, is when people select the bird they want, it's going to give them the option to look at the price associated with that particular bird ornament. Go on through here, press save and continue. And we're back to the main listing page. So back here, everything looks the same except now, instead of create variations, you can edit. So you can always come back and add more of these variations if you get more birds, say. And then the birds are also listed here for us to see what those variations are. Going through here, description, again, let them know this is a used item and there is wear, just to make sure the buyer knows these are not new. Going through, still have that same original picture. Required to brand is the Danbury Mint. Going down here, item specific. So normally you want to fill this wheel up, and I'd probably come back here and take another look at this and add some more specifics, but just for the sake of this being just for the variable listing, we're moving on. And then down here we have our basic description. Copy and paste the title. Danbury Mint Songbird Christmas Ornaments. Capital letters sold separately. Then we want to again add another note. Make sure to select the bird you would like. Again, you want to be clear to the buyer they are not buying the whole lot, they're buying one at a time. Or if they could buy the whole lot, depends how you have your setup, and you'll see that in a moment. Then we have this basic piece here. We add to all our things. Please review all photos and ask questions about the item before purchasing. Okay, so now we're in the shipping details. So if you notice, we don't actually have to do anything for pricing because all pricing was done previously in the variation settings. So we don't have to do pricing there, but we do come down to shipping. And so shipping, you can't individually price shipping for the items. So whatever you charge for shipping or not charge for shipping is across the board for all items in this variation. This is why we say when you're creating a variation, do your best to keep them all about the same weight, same size, so that shipping will be pretty much the same estimate. In this case, we are charging shipping. We're going to charge $4.99 per item for first class, add $1.99 if they add any additional birds to it. So they buy 2 birds, they're going to pay $4.99 plus the $1.99 additional. We also like to give the option for expedited shipping, so we do have this option here available, so they could pay $7.25 for expedited shipping. We won't add much here extra because we're going to do a flat rate, so we want to also appeal to our buyers. Let's see, going down. We have same day, but here's another important piece we always like to add. GSP, Global Shipping Program. It's easy to help you get your item seen pretty much around the world. Heading down here, we do our promoted listings at a max of 2%. We don't follow what's trending of 8%. We just take 2%, and it's been working for us. Then coming down here to the volume pricing. This is another perk to having this variable listing. You can click here, and then now if you buy 1 bird, there's no discount. If you buy 2 or more birds, it'll be 5% off each item, and so on and so on. You can increase that saving, depends on your item and your margins. In our case, we're just going to leave it like that. Buy 2 or more and you'll save 5%, and then you're done. Come on down here and list. Alright, so before we finish up here, I wanted to show you what it looks like. So you can see here, this is what your buyer would see. Main picture is going to say sold separately, again being nice and clear, but the buyer can see all the different pictures from all the different birds right in here. But the key thing we want to show you is all of them 6 different birds are in one listing. The buyer can come through here for select bird, and here you go. Each bird with their individual price. And when selected, the picture will automatically populate to that bird to make sure the buyer knows what they're buying, what it looks like, and how much. As you can see, the price changes as well here. So that one's $9.99, this one's $11.99, and so forth.
So we hoped all of that stuff, all the instructions for the variable listing is helpful.
Yeah, again, this is what we use for our store, our process, and it works for us. let us know if you've used this in the past or if you find it useful or have an idea with some items. You can put them in the comments. But any questions, go ahead and leave a comment or DM us directly on social media, on Instagram.
Yeah, so we've done variable listings for, as you can see, the birds. We've done it with DVDs. We did it with some of the kitchen appliances that we were getting rid of. We talked about our juicer in a podcast episode where we screwed up the shipping, but the juicer had multiple parts. So that is one listing, even though the parts of the juicer range from like the
small like filter to the big hopper, we're able to put it in one listing.
And not waste what would be like 8.
Yeah. And again, we do this often with items that are going to sit for a while.
So if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions,
yeah.
Go ahead and drop them below.
Let us know. We're open to learning. And as always, thank you for watching.